Ladies and gentlemen, I know it has been a very long time since we've ever done one of these, but Not for the Faint of Hearted podcast, part 3. Last time, wow, it was almost a year. It was a year ago.
Yeah.
It was a year ago. Ben wasn't there for the second one.
Yeah.
He was there for the first one. I have 2 Bens. That's gonna be. I'm just gonna call Ben Jones. I'm gonna call you Jones. I'm gonna call you Ben. Okay,
right.
so like that's how we're gonna distinguish
fair,
between two.
that's
But
fair.
yeah, last time it was a couple of my other friends. The first podcast Ben was in. So yeah, I'm just here with Ben Jones was telling me that a lot of his friends always say like, oh yeah, like have a podcast or some shit. So like, we're just gonna talk about some deep shit, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like everyone always like laughs when like they first like start this shit, but like the key to like having a good podcast is just to not even think. Like I'll literally put the phone down like this, and like you just don't even act like it's there. You just have to talk.
Conversate,
You just have to flow.
Butter chat.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, totally, dude.
But you gotta like look at each other when you talk, you know?
Indeed. Making eye contact is the point of a strong conversation.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think? Do you guys have anything on your mind right now, or can we just jump into whatever?
We can jump.
Do you guys have anything better? Because I have some, but I don't know if it's that good. So,
Bring it up. Why
do
not?
you ever think about how like in history and stuff, like when it's really back before times of like photographs and things, like what if none?
Do you think that shit's like fake?
Yeah, but like, look, there's no like pure raw evidence.
Dude,
of it.
I know what you're saying.
So like maybe half the stuff we're learning is just like
Bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Wouldn't that
Like,
be
do you
hilarious
ever
if
think
like it
about
was just
that?
some random ass motherfucker who's just like sitting, writing the shit down,
Like,
and
they're
like
just-
he's like I can't wait for people to think that this shit actually happened.
Right.
Like hieroglyphs.
Like
Yeah, bro.
like in history class we've been learning it's about like Western
About
civilization
books.
history and like about how there is some philosopher that recorded history, but he recorded it a lot with aligned with like Greek gods.
Mm-hmm. Which
And
like
it's
is
like
obviously
how do you distinguish? You know.
how do you distinguish what's real from fake? No, totally.
Right.
I totally believe what you're saying. Like I think that there's like a element that could be true to that. Like are you talking like pre like
Just like old.
yeah like
you know,
anything
yeah.
old?
Like probably pre 1500s.
Pre-15.
Yeah, I can understand where you
Before.
think that.
Yeah.
Definitely could be true. I mean, like all this, we hear about all this bullshit already in history that
Talking about Greeks, like Greek stuff. Like I love Greek mythology,
uh-huh.
Yeah.
and I also like Norse mythology and like pagan stuff. Like just because I find it interesting, because like during like Greek mythology times,
Mm-hmm.
that was like sort of around the time when like Jesus came into the picture.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Wait, really?
Yeah, so like something would happen, like you would read through the Bible chronologically, and you'd be like, well, this happens, and then you read through like some of the mythology that was being created at the time, and you're like, well, something's adding up.
What's pagan again?
Pagan.
It's like-
I've never heard of that.
Pagan is
Because
like,
I've heard of that sort of, but like I just don't know roughly what it is.
it means like, it's like pagan is like anything that's like Zeus or like anything like there's like
I kind of get that.
I don't really know for sure.
I know
but
the word, but
yeah.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying.
Multiple gods.
So wait, what the fuck? Pagan is just Zeus?
No.
I'm literally the Greek one. I know nothing about this.
I think he's saying that paganism.
I'm gonna look this up.
Oh yeah, it's always good to have someone else's phone in case we need to like search it.
I think what he's saying is that that's like more like the broad sense of different societies worshiping multiple gods instead of like how like Christians just worship like God and Jesus.
Okay, so a pagan is a person holding religious beliefs other than those of main world religions.
Yeah, because I've heard the word paganism associated with more like demonic things, you know?
Oh shit! bro.
Like because like
Dude, this is where we. I
like,
love talking about this kind of shit.
Witches and shit.
No, I love
creepy shit too,
Yeah.
bro. I love
Like-
creepy shit too.
I just
Here, try not to do that too much. It's okay. But dude, no, the creepy shit always gets me. Like, I love discussing like shit that like low key like has like. I don't like discussing like scary movies. I like discussing shit like like Elsa Gate and like
Yeah.
Watergate and Pizzagate and like shit that's
I'm
like
really
true.
into like cults. Like,
Dude, have you ever
learning
heard of the
about
Waco?
cults.
Remember we learned about this the Waco cult in
Maybe.
Waco, Texas. So
Waco,
basically,
Texas.
in Waco, Texas, there's this big. If you've ever played Rainbow Six Siege, the map Oregon is literally the exact replica of what this place
Waco.
looked like.
Really?
Our teacher pulled up like the documentary in our fucking class, and this thing,
No.
the first thing I thought of was, is that fucking Rainbow Six Siege? Because literally, it's the exact same map. Oh shit! It's the exact same. Like, it looks like the map. So, what I was saying is like, this cult. What they believe in again? They just believe that this one guy was like the Messiah.
Yeah.
Their leader
no,
was
like,
the Messiah.
This guy claimed that he was Jesus coming back to Earth, and everybody believed him. And he would like hold these kids hostage.
Not like kids, like they like people would join his cult. Like I
But
guess
they didn't know
I guess it wasn't
that he
holding
was-
them hostage because it was by their consent, but it was a complete lie.
Yeah.
So basically, what happened is like, so they believed that the that these people had like illegal firearms, like class 3 weapons, like machine guns and like just unregistered weapons and shit. So they sent the ATF to the They were gonna send the ATF to the building to like, they had a warrant and everything to like check them out, but a newspaper writer tipped off the cult at the building. So when the ATF gets there, like you watch the video, it's a firefight. It's like one of the most intense gunfights
Yeah.
in the like on a U.S.
Like
soil.
people are getting shot and everything.
Yeah, and like it's like people are getting shot on the roof and
And
shit.
it makes
and, like,
them look, it makes the ATF look bad.
it makes the ATF look really bad. And basically, so what happened is they this huge case opened up, and they would give the leader like radio time to talk about his like preachings and shit,
Yeah.
and he'd talk about what he believes in, and they'd try to get these kids to come out, and they got a couple of them, but they had to send them back. And then the FBI on the very last day, it was the 50th day of the investigation, the FBI, they rammed like a fucking tank into the building, and like 3 huge fires started, and only 6 of the 50 people inside made it out, and the rest of them I think either got shot, smoke inhalation, like most of the kids died of smoke inhalation, or they probably burned to death.
So sad.
It is, and only 6 people made it out. 6 people,
Damn.
and there was like 50 or something, and there's a lot of families.
You
and shit.
heard of you guys have probably heard of it, but
You can come a little bit closer. Sorry.
the Heaven's Gate cult.
No, tell me about it.
Damn. Okay.
Dude, I love talking about this shit.
So this one's really interesting. I think this was in like maybe like the 90s or the 80s, but there is this big cult that got started, and they basically, their theory was that, so they had this leader who was this old guy. I forget.
Was this so? When was this? The 80s? You said.
I think about that time.
Why did everything fucked up? happen in the
anyways.
80s? Ted Bundy, I think, happened in the
Nah,
80s.
they got cool style back then, though.
They did.
Anyways, but so what they did is basically this guy told all, like the leader, the cult leader, told all of them that there's this comet. I think it was like Halley's Comet or something. Basically,
Oh wait,
they all,
is it like a known comet?
yeah, it's a known comet that passes by Earth.
Okay, can I pause for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, isn't a comet just like, wouldn't that disappear eventually? Because it's like literally just something burning.
I bet it would.
Oh
but
no!
they're
Comets
huge.
go through the
the
atmosphere, and they,
yeah.
I mean, they go through space and they don't dissolve. But when they go through an atmosphere, that's when they dissolve because
Yeah.
they're giant chunks of
So
ice.
it's like
Yeah.
dissolving. over
Okay,
time.
sorry. I
Okay.
was just getting that. straight.
Anyways,
Continue.
their theory is that they have to hitch a ride on this comet and take it to like the next realm. But no, this is crazy.
What's the creepiest part about it?
The creepiest part is that they had a group of like 30 in this mansion. And to do this, they all drank poison at the same time.
did they
Drinking
do
the
it?
same stuff.
Wait, didn't they do it in South America?
No, this was in California.
I
Wait, are you
heard
talking about-
about one cult that had to go
There-
down to South America and he made them all drink
No,
poison. The
I
kids.
know
What
about
about
that one too.
Jonestown?
I know about that.
What's
is
the
that,
Jonestown
that
massacre?
is that is what that one's called. But this one is called Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate.
That's so-
Anyways,
So they
so
poisoned
messed
themselves.
up.
Did they die?
they all poisoned themselves. They all died. There were like 30 people dead in this one mansion that they found.
Shit,
and there's
man.
like one person left. And he was just left behind to be like the historian. Could you imagine
Dude.
if you actually believe that and you actually believe that all
Dude,
your
cults-
friends got to
it's
go
like-
to heaven
it's like-
and you're just like
Cults
chilling
and
there
shit
on
freak
earth?
me out,
It's like
bro.
we're gonna jump on the magic school bus.
No,
and
but
we're
like-
out of here.
But like the videos are creepy because they're just walking through and they all had specific uniforms for it and stuff.
But they could do like rituals and shit.
What, it's like
Yeah,
Star
well,
Trek.
they all had specific like uniforms and shrouds that they wore before they
Shrouds?
like killed themselves.
You mean
And they
like-
were all like neatly placed in like beds and stuff when you came in. And it's just like really, really freaky.
So what was I gonna say? Do you believe that like most people in like higher politicians like have some involvement in cults and shit?
Yeah.
'Cause,
Well,
like,
maybe
dude, I
not.
always-
Maybe not cults, but like You know how like fraternities
Like,
are in college?
yeah.
It's like something similar to that.
Do you guys,
So-
do you guys believe in like that? Like not
you-
not the Illuminati, but like that type
the
shit.
Freemasons. The Freemasons is a very real thing.
What was the Freemasons again? You've told me about them,
the
right?
Freemasons
Wasn't one of
is-
your friends' dads in the Freemasons?
I think I had like a great grandpa in the Freemasons.
Great
actually.
grandpa.
But I've like it's a very like common thing to be a part
Yeah,
of.
of the Freemasons. It's not like
It's not like something weird or rare, even though some regard it as something that's weird or like, you know, conspiratorial. But anyways,
What are they?
it's like it's just this order that a lot of very powerful people have been a part of, like many presidents.
What do they like? What do they like believe?
I think it's all like secret. Like they don't like. It's not like a religious thing.
It's not.
It's just like
it's just like a code, kind of.
From what I've been told, it's just been like a men's club. Like it's just like
it's kind of like the Abaquá, like the Abaquá in South America and Cuba. It's a men's club, and they don't fuck. They don't get married.
But it's just well, it's not that extreme. But it's just like it's very like secretive, and that's why it's conspiratorial.
I get what you're
like
saying.
they don't like word of what they do doesn't get out.
The thing is that like we just learned about this. The First Amendment. It says here, like it says, it prohibits government from excessive entanglement with religion. You know, like so you're not supposed to like.
The government doesn't
be
get
the
involved in
cult leader.
religion.
So
That's the thing. That's why there's so many cults, because the government technically is not like allowed to disband a cult unless like, because that'd be a violation of the First Amendment, unless that cult was like hurting people or like doing something illegal, obviously. But other than that, I mean, like cults they're probably everywhere, dude. I hear about them a lot.
Also another like talking about like government involvement and like like there's this one group that meet at this place called Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove.
Here's a picture. I don't know if
Oh
you've seen that
shit!
before.
No, I heard about
But
that.
it's a lot of
is the
powerful
food good
people.
there?
I hope so. But
Dude, it
anyways.
looks. What was did you ever see what Alex Jones was? I know Alex Jones is like. Kind of
No, I think there is a
Was he
video
talking
where
about that shit where he's like,
Yeah.
all these wizards are doing drugs in this temple or some shit like that?
Well, no, I think what
Why
he was
is
trying to
everybody
do.
bad gotta have the name Jones?
No, but what fucks me up is like people like Epstein and like that like island and shit. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know if this is like connected to cults
Pedo
or whatever, but
island.
like have you ever heard of Jeffrey Epstein and the Pedo Island?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
What's the island actually called? St. James Island?
Little St. James Island.
Yeah, and like this island's like deemed
Start
Pedo
of
Island.
rappers' names.
Yeah.
Little Saint James.
What are you gonna say?
It's deemed Pedo Island because he was literally like sex trafficking
like
kids on this
literally,
island.
like the natives knew it as Pedo Island. Like that's what they call. That's what they
Wait.
nicknamed it.
Oh.
Like
Wait,
that's
what is it?
actually. I don't know. It's just weird. Like if you've ever like looked at images of the islands, he has like some kind of like temple looking thing.
And
on
like
there.
apparently like Bill Clinton, like I don't know. if this is
There's
true.
accounts that I've heard of Bill Clinton having
Did you,
like
did you do
flight
research on
logs.
this whole thing? This
I've
Epstein
looked
thing?
at a lot of it.
I talked to Andrew.
I've looked at a lot of
Drew
that stuff.
Drew Nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to him about it, and he like knew. We should bring him on here. He knows a lot about this shit.
So there was the controversial thing behind that whole Epstein thing is that like Bill Clinton, who is also a very powerful person, obviously, because you know he's Bill Clinton.
Ex-president.
But anyways, he had multiple flights
To
there's
Pedo Island.
multiple flight logs of him going to that island. Because like he knew Epstein, like they knew each other and stuff, and it's like if this island's under that stuff, and then they were worried that Epstein was gonna come out and say, "Hey, these people were involved too. It wasn't just me."
That's
and
probably why they killed him.
off. Because
Do you
they didn't
think
want him to
Epstein
get
killed
out.
himself or not? I think he
I don't
definitely
think so.
got killed.
Because like I remember when the autopsy came out, it said that it was like it was obviously like it was hinting at him like hanging himself because it was like talking about like
Broken neck.
broken neck and all that. But they were saying that, but like think about it, like someone could have just strangled him. Like they could have just strangled him. And then if you see it around his neck, you could just
I
say
mean,
it
if you
was a
choke
broken
someone
neck.
in a weird way, you can like break their neck and shit. Or they could have just killed him a certain way and framed it as that.
Yeah, not only that, but
Isn't
he
there
was
wasn't there
on-
supposed to be a camera in
he
there or
was on,
something? Isn't there supposed to be a camera inside
I think
Suicide
so.
Watch? areas,
I
and
think
the camera went out at the specific time that he died.
It was that they took him off suicide watch, and that's the suspicious thing.
Yeah.
They're like, why'd they take him off suicide watch?
And apparently the sheets. I know we're talking
They
about
died.
this. This is so old. Like this shit. Like everyone knows about it. But the sheets.
Yeah, it's still interesting.
Yeah, but it's like the sheets apparently were so thin that you could tear them with your hands.
Yeah.
And like they were saying that he hung himself with this shit. Like there's, I definitely think that there's some other shit behind that, bro.
Yeah.
It just goes to show like you never know like what's
you
like.
never know.
Like the government and shit, you can't trust them because like.
There's. Yeah.
Have you ever heard about the speaking of like all this shit? You know, like John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
During his presidential term, you know, like the war was the Cold War was like heating up pretty bad. Like the Cold War was like getting ready to like start, and like so they were like looking. A lot of people were looking for a reason to go to war with Cuba, especially like the top military generals and shit. So like they were gonna like stage this thing where like United States like government workers or whatever, or like military personnel would like dress up as Cuban soldiers and like just massacre civilians to make it to like frame Cuba as attacking them, so they would have an excuse to start war with them.
Yeah.
And when John F. Kennedy, I forgot what he said. He said some quote like, "This is one of the most disturbing things that I've ever like seen," or like, and we call ourselves a free country or some shit, or like
true.
he said something like John F. Kennedy was really against it. I think he's one of the best presidents ever. John F. Kennedy, dude. Like everyone like talks about like these presidents nowadays.
But he's
like,
the most. He's like the most even, like with the
He
Republican
is.
and the Democrat, and
Everyone liked
but
him.
like as much as he was a good president, like everybody has their flaws. Like
definitely.
he has a ton of shit behind
also
him,
helped-
but like still you gotta respect him for being a good president.
It's the same thing with any president, bro. Like people hate like Trump or Obama. It's like, bro, if they were my president, like at the end of the day, like I respect them.
You want them to succeed because they're your president.
And at least they didn't fucking burn our country down. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we're still going.
The only reason why a political leader would piss me off is if they're like intentionally doing something that is
that's
like
wrong.
like you can tell
Is morally wrong.
Yeah, like, for instance, like with the Hillary Clinton leaving Afghanistan or something like that, with the soldiers left behind, and then they all
Wait,
just
what happened
fucking
with that?
died.
What happened with that? Oh wait, no, there was. This is
I forget
crazy.
how
So
it went,
have you ever heard about the embassy attack when Ambassador
That
Stevens?
sounds really familiar.
Ambassador Stevens. So we had an embassy. I think it was in Iran or probably Iraq or Afghanistan. But basically, so Hillary Clinton. This is the whole email scandal, right? Benghazi and all this shit.
Yeah.
So like.
I don't know
Apparently,
what it was.
Hillary Clinton was sent emails to tell the United States military either to I'm not speaking like I know 100% about this. I'm speaking from the very little parts that I remember.
Yeah.
But basically, that she was either told to like tell the troops to retreat or tell the troops
That's
to back
what I
up
was talking
reinforcements.
about. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get reinforcements.
That was so
And
wrong.
she did not send these emails or some shit. And I might be wrong about this, but this U.S. embassy got attacked. And if you guys don't know, embassies aren't only soldiers. It's like government, like civilians basically that are working overseas. So this guy, Ambassador Stevens, civilian, he got like raped and like it was on footage and like he got murdered like brutally and like all these people got completely massacred. It was like a horrible thing. And the government just kind of like covered it up because they didn't want to talk about it.
And then now Trump's getting steamed for it too because he's trying to uncover Hillary Clinton's traces.
Yeah.
Like they just came out with they came out with like a Hulu special for Hillary
For what?
Clinton, and she's like, I don't know what it's about. I
Dude,
haven't
just-
like listened.
The thing is, you just can't, like, I'm not trying to sound like a rebel or anything. Like, I love the United States, but you can't trust the government. Because, like, low-key, they, like, no matter what, like, they always will have, like, I mean, unless they're pure evil, the greater good, which can include, like, not you, over everyone. Like, if something's going to benefit you versus benefit 10 people, what are you probably going to pick? The thing that would benefit 10 people. Well, that's the mentality of every government, every leader. Like, that's how you have to be. So, like,
sometimes it won't affect a lot of people, but like, but to them it'll affect the mass majority.
Exactly.
And potentially like positively affect the future.
I mean, shit's happened like this since, like, you know, like we were talking about Kennedy. Like, have you guys ever heard of Bay of Pigs? The invasion of Cuba?
Yeah.
Like, that was a complete fucking disaster. Like, it was fucking terrible. And Kennedy, like, he, like, took responsibility for it and shit. But still, like, it just goes to show, like, no matter, like, how good a leader is, they're still a human. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're, like,
It's the next step as well. It's like, you know, you mess up in a presidency. Like, you just mess up royal. And, like, I think it's more like you focus on fixing that mistake.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Because like you could like I may not like the president or whatever. He makes a dumb decision.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna want him to fix it, and then we can like forgive him.
Yeah, I just hate it when people are like talking about the president or like I'm literally not
Some
even.
people talk and they don't do enough research.
Yeah, I'm
That's
speaking
probably why
exactly.
I never talk.
Speaking,
I know.
Well,
I
if you
don't
talk
do
in an
research.
intelligent way.
Yeah, it's just like do your research. You know?
Yeah,
try
well,
to
no,
be
you can
very-
say something. Just
I try
don't
to-
like blurt out your opinion. Like, I hate this person or this person's so
Yeah.
stupid, and without no explanation. Like, if you're like, well, I think this is messed up because blah blah blah, and you like explain why you think so, even
And
if it's
that's
wrong, it's fair. It's
your
what you
opinion.
think. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone can correct you, and you can be like, oh, okay, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay.
Yeah, I try to be very vague about like certain topics that I don't know.
What do you guys think about like libertarian? Do you guys like? What do you guys think about that whole
I
party?
think that's
I
like
don't
the
know about that.
That's like the majority of our school right now.
Libertarian.
Really?
So they just no. I think our school's more of like liberal.
No, I've asked a lot of. I don't really.
Well,
share
I think
my-
the silent
I feel like
majority
it's just
is
the
libertarian.
silent
The silent majority is
definitely
libertarian.
libertarian. Or
Libertarian.
I have an
Republican.
issue
I don't.
with
I
them.
actually kind of like libertarians. I could see myself supporting a lot of their like. I mean, they support the first 10 the Bill of Rights.
Mhm.
Like they support all of those. So like I respect that. That's like something. What's their belief based around? It's basically the first 10 the Bill of Rights, right?
I don't know.
Just
I'm
run
not
it through
gonna-
Google. Run it through
Yeah.
Google. Hell yeah, man.
But
But yeah, oh sorry, go ahead.
I don't know where I lie personally, and that's just because like to me I haven't looked into politics enough. But
Yeah,
I
and
definitely
that's
should
fine.
because I
don't
should
really
be able
look
to
into-
vote soon.
Yeah, I don't really
Because
like
last
looking
year I
into
wasn't
like
able
the.
to vote.
I understand.
Yeah,
But I don't really like looking into like the economic shit. Like I mean, like I
Yeah.
know it's important, but
it just doesn't affect us much now because we don't
Yeah.
really pay that.
and we
many
will
bills.
need to pay attention. But like I'm into more of like the dirt, like you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
the shit, the
So-
fucked up shit.
According to Wikipedia, libertarians seek to maximize political freedom and autonomy, emphasizing freedom of choice, voluntary association, and individual judgment.
Oh, I kind of respect that. Those are the people that are like, you want to be gay, go ahead. You want to have guns, go ahead. You want to smoke, go ahead. Just don't let it affect me
Yeah.
or some
And-
shit.
Yeah.
And then it says
I can respect that.
libertarians share a skepticism of authority and state power, but they diverge on the scope of their opposition to existing economic and political systems.
Yeah, I just think that nowadays we're not focused on like the right thing. Like
I feel that.
I feel like we're like.
Sometimes we're too focused on the small issues when there's bigger issues that
Mhm.
we need to solve first
And like I know like we're like
or work on.
yeah, and I don't think we should like be in like as many like warfare as we are in, because I get it, we're like
Yeah.
the most powerful nation and shit, but like all these politicians are doing, like I'm pro soldier 100%, but I'm like anti-war. Like I think like soldiers should be treated with like the utmost respect, but like I think that war, like if it's avoidable, spare the young men's lives who are
Yeah.
like, or the young men and women who are risking their lives for their country, like let them like like live and have a family and shit.
Don't just have them.
Yeah, don't like just go to the Middle East for no reason to get like blown up by an IED or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
But like, because like I said, I'm pro soldiers, but like I think that like a lot of these politicians just are just sending these young people to war to go get killed, and it's like it's just fucking dumb. It's like why it's so unneeded. You know what I'm
That's very
saying?
true.
If anything, I feel like
Ben speaking as someone who's like enlisted in the National Guard, and are you just National Guard, or like are you gonna do Army after that? Like Army,
I'm trying to go.
National Guard falls under Army, right?
Yes, like a lot of people like say, oh,
It's its
National
own
Guard-
branch.
Well, it's
It's
not.
not.
It's not really. It's the Army is the Army. The National Guard has,
Is the
as far as
Army.
I know, it has two. You can go Air National Guard, and you can go Army National.
Which one are your Army?
I'm an Army National Guard, which means I'm part time, and then there's the Army Reserves, which is what I'm grouped with.
Mhm.
And when you're in the reserves, I'm pretty sure it goes with all the branches, and the branches are like the Navy,
Yeah, Coast Guard, Marines, Air Force,
all of
Army.
them. And
Yep.
I guess my point of view is, yeah, like the National Guard. If you're not like an officer, they'll try to send you out. They send out a lot of Army Reserves, like
To
they'll-
go fight in the
Yeah,
yeah.
they're like you're
They send a lot of
getting
Marine
deployed.
reserves and Army reserves mainly.
Yeah, and so, to think about it, like the people who are in the reserves, they're part time, right?
Mhm.
They have civilian lives.
They do.
and so like
Wait, don't like when you're in the reserves, don't you like literally live a normal day-to-day life at like a house or something?
Yeah.
You just work a job that's like in the like what is your job gonna be?
I'm right now I'm in infantry.
So what would infantry be? Like, what would you go do every day?
Well, it's not like I do it every day. Like, I have a specific time, like specific times in the year which I go and.
So do you even have to work like a job?
Yes.
Like the National Guard is your job, but like a job on the side of that, or.
Yeah, so I can get a job on the side. Like I'm like still trying to learn everything really.
I understand.
Like I know I have an MOS and that's like what I'm gonna.
MOS is infantry, military occupied specialty, or something like that.
Yeah, so like that for me it's infantry.
So what would you do like on a day-to-day basis? Like you said,
I don't know yet.
Is that kind of like the reason why they have like ROTC programs in colleges?
ROTC is for officers, right? You're not officer,
Really?
you're enlisted men, right?
Yeah.
So
right now,
he starts as a private first class. Officers, they go through officer school and they graduate and they join the military as a lieutenant. That's why a lot of the grunts or like the people who like are enlisted don't really care for the officers, because they come in and they're bossing these guys around who have been in combat before and like they know what's up, but they're like acting like they're like ahead of them, and they just because they went through like this schooling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes
But like
sense.
some officers are like, don't get me wrong, some officers are like amazing leaders and like lead their men to do great things and like are really like their men love them. But yeah, sorry, continue. I cut you off completely.
the ROTC that you were talking about, it's like you sign up to be in the ROTC. You have to after your first year of college and you're already enlisted, or sworn in and everything. You go to sign up for the ROTC. You go to your college ROTC.
Do you come a little bit close to the microphone? I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you have to like get in to the ROTC.
You have to like qualify, kind of.
Yeah, and
like
so,
how you have to qualify for like architecture.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
then you after college you get a pay raise and stuff, and there's certain benefits you get from.
How much are
being
you
in
gonna?
it.
Do you know how much you're getting paid yearly? You're gonna get a salary, right?
Yeah, I think I'm getting paid like it depends on like what I'm doing. So like when I go to basic, I think I get like $2,000 a month.
That's not bad. What's 2,000 times 12? Or what's 2 times 12? 24, 2400. So you make
24K.
24K
Well,
a year.
no.
If you're living at home or wait, don't you live?
that's
Are you
not
gonna live
right.
on a base, or are you gonna live?
Well, the whole time I'm going to Fort Benning.
So you're gonna live on a base.
Yeah, so
You're gonna be like
Is that what Noah does right now? Is he on reserve?
Noah's not in reserve. He's going to combat.
Shit.
He's Army infantry.
My guy.
He's Army infantry. Like you could see it on his story.
I've seen his story that he's always moving around.
He's always out in the
different
field
forts.
and shit, dude. And he has to like.
That's kind of what I want.
Yeah, he's done like school of infantry training. Like he shot like full automatic machine gun, full automatic grenade launcher. Like he shot all that shit. And now he's gonna he's training and he's gonna go to combat soon.
God, that training just sounds like mentally like it just like.
I feel like that's
change you.
That's what I want to do. Like I want to be in a special ops. Like
Yeah.
for
Dude, I was thinking about this.
My friend from hockey, I knew.
Oh, what's his name again?
Vicini.
Vicini.
Anyways, this guy, we all loved him, but we always like joked with him about how he wanted to be in the SEALs.
Mm-hmm.
Like like
Didn't he
friendly
fail?
joke. I don't think he got into the SEALs, but he definitely tried.
Because this
He tried to
training
get
is
into-
super hard.
yeah,
You're supposed to
like-
ring the bell if you don't have.
Yeah,
enough
and
balls.
I forget what he told us what the training like he had to do, but they had to do some just like crazy
Dude,
physical stuff.
dude,
And he
no.
was a guy of good like physique, you know.
Yeah, it's like crazy
insane
physical,
what
but
they have
also
to
like
do.
intimidating mentally. Like you have to like swim 6 miles in open like ocean, and like
Yeah.
think about it, like sharks and shit, like cold water.
Yeah.
Like you just have to like swim
I
through
guess
that.
it's not so much sharks. It's just the intensity because you're getting pushed in all directions at once, and
Yeah.
you're trying to swim in one direction.
Yeah.
And like
Like,
hypothermia.
swimming
Some guys
against-
get hypothermia.
For 6 miles, that's insane.
That's ridiculous.
That
That's like
sounds
ultra
insane.
shit. That like how long does it take to swim 2 miles? Like it took me once like an hour to swim. I think 2 miles to swim 2 miles.
And you were dead after it.
Dude, I like went home and I just ate like a ton of food and then I went to bed. And like these guys train that shit and they like go
It's
for
like
runs
3
after.
times as much as you did.
Yeah, and they
which
do
is
it
crazy. 'Cause
and
I
they
know
do
you're
it like
strong.
and they do it like a couple days, like a fucking like week or like I don't know. But it's just insane how what these guys like push themselves through and shit. It's like
Yeah.
there's a reason why they're out there doing what they do because they're like
They're
different
the
types of
best
people.
the best.
Yeah, and you can't like take that away from them.
Mm-hmm.
It's with anything. So are you gonna try to be a ranger?
Yeah, I want to try to go. You have to go to ranger school.
Ranger school, yeah. And then if you want to go after you make into Rangers, you can try to get in the 75th. You know, like Navy SEALs have SEAL Team
Battalion.
6. like the 75th Regiment, Ranger Regiment, is like the SEAL Team 6 of the Rangers, and you could try to get in that. But I heard the training. You can also do Army. You can also do Airborne. You can do well. You'll probably be Airborne certified, but you won't be in like the 101st or like 82nd or like I don't know. I don't know about any of this shit. But also you can do like Army Night Stalkers. I've heard of them.
Like I want to
Green
get
Beret.
a Green
Would you
Beret.
be Green Beret?
Yeah, that's what I was about to
Are
say.
Rangers Green Beret or?
I'm not even sure, but
Green Beret does like Rangers. I think do a lot of like assaults, like start the assault, like you know what I'm saying, like start like clear out all the houses, like go through, wipe everything out, and then Green Berets do like we're gonna drop you however so many miles behind enemy lines, and you have to like gather intel or like kill this specific guy or capture this guy, not kill him, make sure we take him back alive so we can interrogate him or something. They do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
That shit would be intense, bro. I was thinking about it earlier when I was like showering. I was like, imagine like what it would be like after you killed someone. Like how would you like think of yourself like after that?
How do you think of yourself showering?
Like
No, like I was thinking like
Like
I
wiping
mean,
blood off
it
of you.
depends the scenario, because like if you're still in the middle of combat, after you
Well, yeah, you probably
like,
wouldn't-
like you're just like
No, I'm talking about when you get home. Like, let's say like you're
Yeah,
a
that's
50-year-old
true.
and you're like just doing something. You're like, man, I remember that one time when I was 15. Blah blah blah. This happened. It's like, wow, that was before I killed someone. I feel like that's how I'd think about it.
That was the
I would
thing.
be like, oh, back when I was 20, I was hanging out with my friends that one night. That was a really good time. That was before I killed someone. Or like,
That-
yeah,
my great grandpa who was in the military. He was
Uncle Red,
Nah, he was no, it was my great grandpa Rich. Who
Rich,
he was
D-Day.
alive. He was alive for a while, so I knew him. So
the
like,
D-Day guy.
yeah, he was a tank commander on D-Day.
Yeah. Wait, what
like-
beach was he on? Do you know?
I don't know
That
off
just-
the top of my head,
Sure.
but like
That's a whole different type
But like
of
every
thing.
everybody knew, like you don't talk to him about like the war that much, because you know it's like
The war.
sensitive topic to him,
PTSD.
because he
Dude,
definitely saw some
PTSD.
stuff.
My
I think that's gonna be
D-Day.
my problem, because like with me, like I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have like a super close relationship with my
I don't know
family.
if you want one when you're
But
no,
like,
don't get a girlfriend before
Yeah,
you go.
you
No,
don't-
no,
overseas.
no.
you don't
But like what I'm saying is,
Don't
I
get- she'll cheat on
have
you.
nothing to
Mhm.
lose, and I think that I have like the perfect mindset going in, like,
Definitely.
and I feel like I'm not leaving anything behind, so it's just looking forward and then like doing something. But like I feel like I would definitely get PTSD. That's what I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Like
That's okay.
It doesn't even matter.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
a lot of people do have some kind of problem. I mean, PTSD is just like a severe. Like one of my friends that I trained Muay Thai with, he has PTSD. He was a Marine Recon, which is like those guys are like SEALs basically, but they don't get the credit of SEAls. They basically.
Have you ever seen slang like triggers PTSD?
No, we'll be training and he'll be like, I feel like fucking shit. Even though he'll be like doing way better than all of us. We'll be like, dude, what's going on? He's like, I slept 2 hours last night. I was like, well, this was the first time I ever asked him. I was like, so what kept you up? He was like, oh, well, I got PTSD. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's fine. I just deal with it a lot. I was like, is there any like thing that you like do to like help it? He's like, well, he has a medical marijuana prescription from the FDA, and he's like, I pray, and he's
That's
like,
very
I go
fair
to
though that
yeah,
they can have that.
and he's like, I go to group.
That's a thing.
That's a very
Well, yeah, if you have
valid-
PTSD, you're able to smoke marijuana because it
Dude,
calms a lot of people
okay,
down.
that's very fair though that they
For sure,
should, 'cause,
for
like,
sure.
Yeah, that's very fair.
I don't think marijuana should be outlawed at all.
I don't
dude.
think it should either, because first of all, it's legal in all the states around us.
It's literally legal in Michigan, bro.
It's
I don't
legal in
know.
Michigan.
I
I'm
feel
pretty
like
sure it's starting to be legal in
my
Illinois.
mom-
And here's the
She
thing, bro.
grew up-
People who will abuse marijuana are the same people who abuse alcohol. They'll abuse cigarettes. They'll abuse anything.
You just do it in moderation.
Exactly, or you do it properly. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I think that if like my mom grew up in Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
like, and she was around hippies like all the time, and I guess there's a different time period, like we're at a different time period now, but like there's still things like taken into consideration.
I think it's
like when you
a
Hey
lot
guys, can I
of-
take a piss really quick? You guys can
Yeah.
keep talking. If you guys stop talking, it's okay too. Just let me know if you do. I'm gonna be okay.
All right. A lot of the thing about the hippie time period, though, is that the drugs associated with them wasn't
more
just
than just
weed.
marijuana. Yeah,
It was much
It's
more
like-
than just
it's
weed. It was like acid and all
Yeah.
that shit.
But
And like, oh my god.
then you have to think that like marijuana is like a gateway drug apparently.
I don't know how I feel about that kind of hippie lifestyle. Like, look, I can appreciate their values and everything, like values in like art and free thinking and happiness and stuff. But like, I don't know. Just like a lot of them just kind of seem like bums, like true hippies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I don't.
They don't really exist much nowadays, but like
I think
back
it's,
then.
you ever wonder what happened to them? Like, did they
Yeah,
ever
like, where did they
realize that
go?
what they're doing was not that great?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know what to talk about.
What's up, fellas? What were we talking
So
about?
we stopped for a split second, but we were talking about hippies. And like how I was saying that like a lot of what hippies did was much more than weed.
Oh, they did
And it's
LSD
And I was talking about
and
how,
mescaline.
Like, I don't know how I
It's
feel
like
about
song.
I don't know how I feel about that lifestyle.
No,
apparently. Because
definitely
like I can appreciate the values, but like a
Wait,
lot
what
of
is the
it just
hippie
kind of
values?
seems very well. It's they're just like happiness
peace.
and free thinking.
Well, the
and,
thing
like,
is, here's
art.
the thing. Here's
It's
the thing.
like I like
they're
that.
only
but
like that when they're on drugs.
That's very
They're
true.
not like that when they're off drugs. And the
Yeah.
thing is, bro, no matter who you are, when you're on drugs, you're not the same person.
Yeah.
Like that goes for anyone. Like you see a kid who's on meth, bro, and he's fucking like walking up to people with shotguns and shit. Like that's not what a fucking like normal person does. Like drugs, no matter what, even if it's like nicotine, it changes you. So your sober mind, that's you, bro. Like no matter, like I don't care how many times like you say it, and I'm a person who thinks like psychedelics and shit is like completely fine. Like I think it's cool to
Yeah.
explore that shit and like let you figure out who you are. And like if it helps you to figure out who you are as a sober man, then I mean go by all means do it. Like who cares? But if you say like that weed is like who you are, like you have the wrong mindset.
Yeah.
The thing is
the
that-
drugs you use isn't a personality trait.
Exactly. It's not.
Like after
Amen.
after experience, like I think that like sometimes when you overuse something like marijuana,
Mhm.
it just it can like take over. Like if you're mixing it with stuff, it can take over.
That's what I'm saying. Be responsible with
Yeah,
that shit.
but like if let's say like you like to vape, but you vape and you smoke weed at the same time, and then you think that what you want is more weed, but you just want to vape more, right? Let's say like that situation. Like I'm not saying that it's gonna happen a lot of the time, but like then you smoke weed a lot, like almost every day, and then you start to become depressed because you know what happens when you smoke weed, and like makes you kind of shut down. And
Yeah,
it-
that's what I'm saying. I can never do
you
it
can't
like
keep in touch with your
I
reality.
can never like during the summer just like smoke weed every day and
You
just
know-
do nothing inside my house. Like I'd die. I'd hate my life.
You experience this through heavier drugs, but have you guys heard of ego death?
No.
Yeah, like
That's
LSD.
fascinating.
I
to me.
low
What
key
is
want
it?
to try to do that to
I
myself.
know someone who's experienced that.
Who?
And they told I'm not gonna say on video, but anyways, like it just sounds really interesting.
Wait, so isn't it when like you like
It's
literally
like-
your ego like goes away? I low key want to try that because
Okay.
like sometimes I feel like I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. Like I'm just being honest
Yeah.
with myself. I sometimes feel like I have a little bit of like a chip on my shoulder. I feel like ego death would like help me, like not have an ego anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to read up.
Wait, what did your friend
it is.
describe it as? Just tell us that.
Well, she said that it's just like you get to the point where it's like everyone has like a little bit
Yeah,
of, like,
no matter
ego.
how much you.
It's just how we're wired mentally in the
Uh-huh.
brain. But like when you do like LSD or something, it like disconnects.
Mhm.
So like basically okay, wait, let me think. It's like you basically just feel like you're one with like the universe because like like I'm like talking and thinking about like things I'm doing.
Mhm.
But then when you have ego death, it's just like a different feeling.
Define
Like
an
you
ego.
just feel like
First define an ego, and then give me an example of like
Yeah.
how that would affect like a conversation with someone,
Ego
or like it's something where your ego
definition.
gets in the way. You know,
Yeah.
what's something where your ego gets in the way?
Ego definition: a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. So like self-importance meaning like like you go and like
So
drink water because you want to like be healthy for
So you're
yourself.
saying, so you're saying,
Vegans.
so you're saying that this ego death thing does it like make you not drink the water anymore, or
Not I okay so
'Cause that's not good.
definition for ego death is a complete loss of subjective self-identity. The term is used in various intertwined contexts, related meanings in blah 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 blah. But anyway, it's just like I feel like it'd be hard to explain unless you experienced it.
The
But
thing
I've
that-
heard that's very interesting
the
because
thing about nowadays, and this is the thing like with martial arts and shit.
Mhm.
Like I if you guys don't know, I train Muay Thai, and like a big thing about what I see about people is everyone who thinks that they can fight, and I'm not even like low key fighting can be like, it can like give you life lessons, like just
Yeah.
like fighting can, like martial arts can give you like life morals.
for sure.
But like this shit, like people who like think that they can fight, one, they never have had like a true beating in their life. Two, they don't know like what violence really is, and like for instance, kids who get into fights at school, they don't realize that one of them could like smack their hand on someone's head and completely shatter all their bones in their hand.
You could hit the back of your head wrong and die.
Yeah, you can literally like get serious brain damage.
You're
or like
seeing people like lift each other up in the hood, and then they try to like
slam them on their neck,
and then their own head hits the concrete, and then they're just not moving anymore.
Yeah, well, no. Here's the thing. They don't know the meaning. Like they don't know like the what is it? The real like consequences that can come from like a fight. And three, they have very big egos. Like they all have like these giant egos, and everyone walks around nowadays like they're fucking Conor McGregor. Like they have this fat ego, because what everyone hears is like girls like confidence. Well, girls like guys who like are confident in themselves, and that's like good. But I think being confident. I think being confident is being well, no, not really.
It's just
being confident. Everyone thinks being confident is being cocky, but in reality, being confident is like just being secure with who you are as a person. You know, it's not like about like like having to prove, like if you have to prove it to everyone, you're not confident.
Just not caring about other.
Not even caring, like not letting them affect you emotionally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be that way. And I mean, I struggle with that shit all the time. You know, like what people like say and shit. Like it pisses me off. Like remember that little thing that happened the other day, Ben, about that one kid. I'm not gonna say his name on the thing, but but like that shit, like it pissed me off. I was like. Basically what happened is I heard this kid was like saying shit about me. I never even spoke to this kid a day in my life. And he was talking about me to my friends. So I DM'd him on Instagram. I was like, dude, I don't know who you are. Like, what the fuck is your problem? And he just lied. He was like, yeah, man, like, I don't know who you are either. I never said anything about you, but if I did, I'm sorry. It's like, shut the fuck up. You're fucking lying straight to me. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people like that, they just don't understand, like, what...
I would just like a world where everybody was just more honest. Because if you were honest, like if you went, okay, no, I do have a problem with you because this, then you guys could like settle it out. Yeah. You could like talk about it. But no, like you have to like.
And people like it's the whole thing with egos and shit. People let their egos get in the way. People they're too afraid of confrontation, and that has to do with social media and texting.
What I was just gonna think of.
Definitely, like texting and shit. Like now, you can text someone an entire insult and not have to see their face when you say it to them.
And you don't have to come out wrong. You don't know how they're saying it,
right?
Exactly. That's the thing. And people like will like think that they're so tough because they texted you something. Like, oh yeah, I told her off on text.
It's like they're talking shit about me on social media.
It's like, oh my god, bro. Like honestly, grow the fuck up. That shit pisses me off so much.
That's like kind of feminine too. You think like
it can be, but it's just like
girls are like more talk, you know?
And that's
guys
fine.
do it too.
But like I'm not saying
guys do it a lot, and it's a very like the one thing I hate about people is people who can't be like upfront to my face. Like if you have a problem and you say it to my face, I'll immediately respect you more than if you're just like saying shit about me on text. If you're saying shit about me on text or like behind my back to like one of my friends, you're not even worth my time.
I think the funniest shit ever is to see people talk shit over text and stuff, and
or when the person's not there.
Talk all this smack, and then they meet in real life, and it's just like it's a shit show.
Or they're silent.
I'm not a big text person.
Like,
I would rather like call.
I like calling.
Yeah, That's what I was trying to say. Like
Desmond calls me all the time. I love it. Calls me all the time.
Yeah,
I'll text him. Want to hang out? A couple minutes later, I'm getting a phone call from Desmond.
I get a call from Desmond. I just got a call from Desmond yesterday. I was in front of.
So he couldn't hang out tonight. Sorry, this is.
Yesterday.
No, he's at a birthday party.
But he calls me up yesterday, and he goes, like I was in front of my parents. And I put him on speaker, and he's like, "Hey, babe." And I was like, "Hey, Desmond." It's like, "So you want to hang out later, babe?"
We need to get. If you guys haven't seen, I'm literally talking to the podcast, but if you guys haven't seen the first episode, Desmond was in that one way back in the day. It was like over a year ago now. I can't believe we haven't made one of these in like literally a year. This like we're coming back with this shit.
I mean, it's also like one of the first times I've been home in a while.
Yeah, I like having these podcasts though. They're really nice to talk, you know, just like to let shit off. Like I really like I would get more into podcasting and shit, but me and Ben were talking about it. But anyway, where were we? I'm sorry, I kind of stopped the flow of shit. Just how people like talk shit on text and like it never gets to like
social media and what it's done to.
It's definitely ruined our generation.
You remember seeing Desmond's little brother like play on a phone?
Yeah.
I was like, dang.
Oh, Grayson?
Well,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say his name.
Anyways.
The baby.
But like, Just like when me and you were kids, we probably didn't have any of that until we were.
No, I got my first iPod Touch when I was like in 3rd grade. I think.
Obviously, like our parents, it's even more so.
We had an iPhone that me, my mom, my dad, and my sisters all shared. An iPhone 3.
I remember
in 3rd grade when I was in 3rd grade, we all had to share it.
I remember I used to text you guys, and it would text to the same number, so either you or your sister would respond to me.
Well,
those were good times.
I remember
that was so long
like
ago.
with me and technology, like I just have good parents too. But like my first phone, like I got it in 6th grade, and it was a Nokia.
Oh, Nokia.
My first phone was when I was a freshman in high school.
My first one was when I was in 6th grade. It was one of those slider phones. It was one of those slider phones. Those ones that you slide open with the keypad.
But I remember seeing this girl, and she's like, honestly, if you use an iPod Touch, then you're probably a drug dealer. And I just look at my iPod that I'm holding, like, I'm a good kid. But you know.
Yeah, but I think technology and social media has ruined part of this generation.
I
feel that.
even got rid of social media. Like I have Snapchat, but like I don't use it.
I low-key have thought about that before because like,
I got so depressed. I'm sorry.
Especially if you are going through a breakup, the
like,
worst thing you can do is have Snapchat or Instagram and see that girl's stories or what she sends you on Snap. Like the best thing that you can do. This is coming from personal
putting
fucking
up
experience.
A fake facade on social media.
Exactly, to make you jealous or to make you think like she's having a good life, or he, if you're talking about if you're a girl or if you're homosexual. Like literally, the best thing you can do during a breakup, the first thing I would recommend, and like it's not easy. Like I don't even know if I could do it. So like I'm
easier said than done.
It's easier said than done. It's just delete Instagram, delete Snapchat, delete Facebook, Twitter. Fucking whatever the fuck you use, and just get rid of it for like a month, and then you can get it back if you want to. You can still have iMessage to talk to people and shit, but like don't like because we're gonna talk about girls now. Ben, this is where you're gonna come in. Ben Jones. I've been saying Ben the whole time. They've probably been so fucking confused, but when I first broke up with my first girlfriend, like the worst thing that you could do is like look at like text and shit and look at Snapchat, because that's what I do, and then fucking like it would like get to you and shit and make you jealous. But after that experience, I feel like I'm like way more equipped with knowledge, and I'm like much wiser. I know that sounds dumb, but like literally I've noticed I've gotten much wiser since like even like a year ago I was a different person. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's just getting away from the girls topic, but it's on the topic of like social media and phones and everything. But you know, like back in the day, a college dorm, you know, is like your hall is like where you like socialize with people and everything. And so like my first week of college, so I'm like a college freshman, and like, you know, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to leave your doors open so that maybe
people
like
can come in.
There, you can have like an interaction. People can come in, talk to you. You could talk to people in the hallway. Yeah. Anyways, like that's how you're supposed to do it. But anyways, eventually over the span of the semester, it's just like nobody ever like opens their doors anymore. Like nobody talks to each other in my hall. Like I know there's other halls in the other halls on my campus that are like more social, but it's just kind of sad because like nobody ever talks in my hall at all.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Nobody's
that
like friends with each other, and it's just like I wonder if it'd be different if we weren't in that digital age. You know what I'm saying?
And who is the have you ever heard of the Unabomber?
That sounds familiar.
He was a serial killer. I mean, he killed 3 people, and what he'd kill them with bombs, but they were like he would target like computer manufacturer, like people who were making these big leaps in technology. I saw something about Joe Rogan like talking about it. I actually would probably go watch it later, but he was saying like the video was called "Were the Unabomber's predictions about the future true?" And it's like if this guy's believing that like technology could like ruin the future, I mean like. In a way, I mean, it's done a ton of good for us, but it's also done, like, some bad. You know what I mean?
I think, well, you have to think pro and con. Like, technology is pretty great. Like, it makes it life easier, but at the same time, like,
makes us
for
lazier.
me, like, I take advantage of technology and stuff. Like, I'll watch we can watch like movies from like, you know,
we can
remember
watch any
we can watch a
movie
movie
for
on our
free.
phone.
yeah, we can watch movies on our phone. I remember
Like, our
going to
parents
Blockbuster.
Yeah, our parents
and
used to have to like either go to the movie theater or like buy or
Yeah.
rent a DVD.
Remember
or not even
VCR?
DVDs, like probably VCRs.
Now,
Yeah.
now we can pirate anything we want.
Exactly.
Anything, which is nice. That's like a good
McGregor.
part.
It is illegal.
Yeah, the McGregor fight.
It is illegal, but it is nice.
Yeah, and like everyone does it. Like no one's
Very
gonna-
nice.
But it's
The
like,
deep web.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I like for me, like I've just distanced myself from like social media so much.
Mhm.
That's
That-
good.
and-
How has it affected your life?
Like I don't care about what everybody's doing anymore. I used to care so much because I was like, well, why does my life have to be so dang boring?
Yeah.
And that's
And
not. And
that's-
that's not true. Your life is not boring.
And yeah, I realized
It's everyone's life is quote unquote boring. It's just you're only showing the like. Am I gonna post a picture of me sitting on the couch and say I sat on the couch for 3 hours today and napped?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna post a picture of me like doing some shit.
Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like,
like
Hmm?
oh yeah, go ahead.
This first semester of college was like pretty rough because like I found myself a lot of weekends not having any friends because my roommate goes home every weekend. But anyways, I found that I'd always look on social media and see all these people out like partying, and I'd get
That
really
shit's toxic.
I
though.
get really jealous of them. But then I eventually got to the point where I just like
You come to peace.
I distance myself from that, and I'm just like,
One of the best things you could do.
you know,
is
I just
being
feel
alone.
I feel better with myself.
Dude, once you become
'Cause I'm-
comfortable with the person that you are, like your life
Mhm.
becomes so much better.
Yeah.
Like when you can be alone,
Once you're
and, just-
secure with who you are,
and also you can like be alone. Like you don't have to be hanging out with someone all the time. And honestly,
yeah,
spending time alone.
that's another thing I've learned a lot from
Ben,
this
that's wonderful,
experience.
bro.
Is just that like I can be like so much happier just by myself.
Dude, that's wonderful.
And I see a lot of people that can't even like go walk somewhere by themselves.
Yeah.
And they feel the need that people are gonna like judge them,
That
or people
reminds me
will
of my
think
dating
differently.
life.
People will think differently of them if they just walk somewhere by themselves. But me, it's just like sometimes I'd almost rather go somewhere.
Yeah,
by
I kind of
myself.
like being alone. Like
You know?
in some instances,
Balance
I mean,
it
I love
out,
hanging
like-
out with my friends. I love my friends.
But
and shit.
some alone time is
No,
nice,
like
you know.
some
It
of the
is.
like sometimes like I go running every day. and-
Running alone is the nicest thing ever.
Yeah,
People
like-
always want to go
I
on
was
these
like
group
biking
runs.
alone.
And I used to hate running like all the time, but like when I started to realize when I'm running by myself and it's nice outside,
It's literally
I
just
can
you.
I can just appreciate everything and
Put
I,
on some good music.
yeah. And
One
I
of
was
the-
like, I'm happy just by myself, like Ben
Right.
said.
Bro, one of
Yeah.
the best things you can do on a day where you're like stressed out or something is like literally if you're outside, just stop and just like look around at like the sky or the clouds, or even if it's like cloudy, like just like
Just
admire like the world for how
appreciate where you're
beautiful it
at.
is. And like admire the world because it's honestly like we live on a beautiful ass earth, bro. And there's like so much shit to be done and so much shit in your life. Like literally just stopping and like embracing the outdoors, like feeling the cold air or whatever, or like just looking at the sky and shit. Like that shit is like it's so good for you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is
But
very
what you said
true.
about running, totally, bro. I love going on runs by myself.
And because I'm trying
It's
to,
meditation.
and like I feel kind of stressed out about running right now because I'm training for
But,
basic.
yeah, but once you do it, you're like, wow, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, like you always. I guess that's another mental thing. Is like people are just so lazy nowadays.
They
And, like
are,
all
though.
you have to do is
do
it. Like I heard somebody say this, and I can't remember who said it, but like, oh, it was Chris Hemsworth. I just watched. Chris Hemsworth started this new fitness program,
Mhm.
and he was sitting there with some guy on YouTube, and he goes, it's like movement is motivation. Like you don't want to do something, but if you're moving, it literally just motivates you. Like if I don't want to go running, but then I just start running even though I don't want to, then it's like
It may
okay,
suck
this
for
isn't
like
as bad as-
2 minutes or something, but once
Yeah.
you get in that flow state, you're good.
Mhm.
That's the thing, bro. Flow state is like an important thing to like be able to like get into. Like Ben, do you know what I'm talking about? Jones, do you know what I'm talking about? When like you're like running and like at first you're thinking like you're in your head, and then like you like get to like the first mile or something, your stride opens and you stop thinking almost. Or like even when I'm hitting pads for this fight that I have coming up, I'm hitting pads. The first 3 rounds I'm like it sucks and shit. But by like rounds like 5, 6, 7, 8, up and shit, like. It like almost like my body just does the movement, and my brain is not even like like acknowledging what I'm doing. I'm literally just hearing numbers and hearing words, and I'm literally just doing those actions, and I don't need to think to do it.
That's exactly how it was for wrestling.
It's instinct, bro, and that's when I start performing the best. Like, and it's like you think that you're tired, you think that you can't do it, but you can. You just have to get into that state. You know what I'm saying? The more you're in your head about shit, the more you're thinking, the more you're like, I can't do this because blah blah blah, my foot hurts. The more you think about that shit, and the more
the placebo effect.
Exactly. Placebo effect's so true, bro. I don't give a fuck what people say.
It's like with wrestling.
Facts.
When I started to like transition to becoming a better wrestler, I remember I would be at practice and like everybody, like all the weaker kids in practice would be like, my knee. Can I go see the trainer? And like I was like one of those kids, like at some point I was just like it would hurt, but like I knew like it's probably gonna heal like in the day.
Like in Muay Thai I'll throw like a really hard kick and my shin will smack into someone's knee or smack into someone's shin, and dude, that shit hurts. Like that shit will go through your whole leg, and like you literally like lose control of your leg for a split second. But if you just like take a deep breath, like sort of like get back in your rhythm and shit, and you ignore it, like you can keep going. And that's the thing, you can't like let like little like aches and pains like stop you from what you're doing. Like, have you ever heard of David Goggins? He's like this one guy, like a lot of people know about him, but he was a Navy SEAL and went through BUD/S 3 times. He like had like broken ass feet.
Yeah.
He went from like a 300-pound obese man, and now if you see him, he's like completely shredded.
Yeah.
And it's because of his mind. He literally like mastered his mind, and he forced himself to do these like 150-mile runs that would kill him.
Jesus.
Yeah. He broke his feet, taped them up, and ran. Like, he broke his fucking feet.
God.
Like, they were fucking broken. He taped them up with duct tape and ran. Like, that's like some
insane.
serious shit. And this dude was like, just like, you know, like your average like obese guy who's like working a job that he hates, like really unhealthy life, eating steak. And he said that he like ate Steak and Shake and like McDonald's like every day. Like, and now he's like one to help, like literally look at his Instagram and you look at his old picture. Not the same people, bro. It's crazy.
And
the mind is so, dude. The mind is underrated.
That just makes me think about that whole fat acceptance movement where like people are like,
Not at all.
they're like, oh, this is just the way I am, and then they're like, I've tried diets, I've tried to work out and stuff, but it's like, you tried, you didn't keep going.
Yeah,
like
people think, dude, do you think it takes like a whole lifetime to gain, like I saw this like once, it was like it takes a whole lifetime to gain 300 pounds. Do you think it's gonna take a day to lose that shit?
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
it's a process, bro. Exactly.
And like, I guess like people like that just lose motivation. They're like, well, this is like, there's no way I can, like, I'm not seeing improvement, because, you know, it takes a little bit. You have to get into shape, and then you start to see the results, and then that's usually what motivates you. But since they're not seeing anything, so they're just like, this is just who I am. And then they start to think, oh, well, I want people to still love me. I want to be like a normal
And like people
person.
will, but like you can't like.
And then
be
there's
like,
people like me, like, because I know a lot about that stuff, because as you guys know, everybody thinks I'm a chubby chaser, and everybody thinks like I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with a little kush, like more some cushion for some cushion, you know.
Yeah.
But like there's a line to draw.
I love you, bud.
There's literally a line to draw. I knew we were gonna talk about this when I came over.
Yeah.
Like,
it's cool.
it's just like I like with dealing with girls that have that issue, like, because I've dated like some like fat girls before, and like, you know, I try to like help motivate them, and like
that's the thing. I don't know if it's like they don't want to be motivated, or if like you're doing it wrong, but they like don't like it.
I feel scared. I always felt scared to like, you know, point it out, like I know that you weigh a little bit,
like the mindset problem.
Yeah, and I just say,
that's
like,
with everyone though. Even like some of my friends who like do shit, I'm like, dude, like come do this with me. They're like when I'd like lift weights over the summer, like I'd lift weights with some friends, and they just did not want to push themselves.
Or they say
and they'd be like, Nick, why are you pushing yourself so hard? It's like, dude, why aren't you pushing yourself so hard?
Yeah.
Don't you want to see that? Why are we here? If we're not gonna push ourselves, let's go eat fucking Oreos and jack off to fucking hentai or some shit. I'm trying to get strong. I'm trying to get physically capable.
When I ask, like I've asked somebody, I'm not gonna say who it is, but I asked them to hang out.
Do I know this person? Or do I know of this person?
No, I don't know, but I just don't want to expose them.
Yeah, okay.
But I asked them to hang out and like work out with me and stuff. I was like, "Oh, do you want to work out?" And the person said no, and then I asked her to go work out with me another day. I was like, it would be fun, and she just like instantly just went, are you trying to say that I'm fat or something? And I was like, no,
yeah. we talked about this in the first episode. If you guys go back to the very first Not for the Faint of Heart podcast, we talked about like literally saying someone is fat. That's not an insult. That's a fucking it's a fucking observation. It's literally an observation. Like, you see somebody who's really skinny. Oh, that person's skinny. This person's fat. This person's white. This person has blue eyes. It's a fucking observation.
You go into a hospital and you see, like, this old dude with a tumor on his neck. You say, that dude's dying.
It's like, well, what do you fucking think he is? He's fucking dandy as fuck. It's not like you're saying like, oh, he's dying. That's good. You're saying he's dying. That's horrible. I hope he gets better.
What's happening.
Or you're fat. I hope. Let's lose this weight. Let's work out. Like, I'm gonna help you. It's like, dude, some people who have fat friends, that fat person literally doesn't realize that they have a free personal trainer. They have a free person that will push them, make them work out, and make them eat right. They will do those things because they're their friend. They will do all those things for them for free of charge. And then they still go to the gym and pay like $100 a month for some fucking guy in yoga pants and a fucking tank top to fucking tell them to do these like machine exercises, like 3 sets of 12 on the shoulder extensions. It's like, dude, I will get you into the best shape ever through hard ass work.
You know what I just thought of?
Yeah.
What if personal trainers purposely made people do exercises that weren't
working,
like getting you somewhere just so
Just
that
so they
you
can make
keep
that
coming
money.
back? So that just so that they
do
keep
a bunch
coming.
of stretches
Because they're not seeing anything, so they want more, so they pay more, and they hang in there longer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
Just a thought. I've had a good personal trainer for hockey in the past, though, but that was like a one-time thing.
Just if you want to lose weight, literally, this is what you have to do. You have to lift weights.
eat healthy.
You have to eat healthy, and you have to be in a caloric deficit, especially if you're an older, like me. I have a really fast metabolism. I'm young. I'm 17. I obviously can eat some shitty food and burn it off by running the next day and not have any difference. But when I'm 30, that's different.
Yeah.
So I understand how it could be harder for some people, and people who are like 500, 600 pounds, like obviously they're gonna have a very hard time. But I'm talking if you're just like kind of like a little overweight, maybe you're like 5'10", 250 pounds of not much muscle, right? So if you wanna lose that weight, you need to go on like do some kind of cardio at the end of your workouts, preferably like high intensity, like not like I'm gonna jog, I'm gonna do the elliptical for 30 minutes and I'm gonna half-ass the fuck out of it while I'm on my phone. No, dude, you need to go to the fucking track, do like 12 100 sprints as hard as you can. If you feel like shit, that's good. At the end of your workout, do compound lifts and go into caloric deficit, and you will see the results. But that's much easier said than done for most people.
Yeah, and then
That's the thing.
Another thing about like that I like pointing out is that there's like two types of outlooks from like the fat person's perspective. There's the one person who's like, no, fuck it, I don't care that I'm fat. Like, this is just the way I am, and they don't feel self-conscious about themselves being fat,
Which is fine.
and like it's fine. But then where it goes wrong is that
They want other people to give them privilege. Like they're like, oh, you're privileged because you're skinny. It's like, I'm privileged because I'm taking care of my body, and you don't care. Like, if you don't care, okay, good for you. But don't like tell me I can't do these things because of you. You're just a fucking fucking what's it called? A nuisance to my life.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of my life if you're gonna act like that.
If anything, they're the ones that are being privileged. Like, you think about the freaking 500-pound lady who's on the airplane who takes 2 seats up. It's like, you're privileged because you just took another...
You just took a person's seat.
Yeah,
You literally just took a person's seat.
Do you think they make them pay for the other seat?
I don't understand.
Because I'd want them to pay.
Yeah.
Like, if you're that
and I'm not even saying
I'm not trying to say you should pay more if you're solely because you're fat, but
Dude,
if you have to take up 2 seats, maybe you should have to pay for
And what
the
I'm
other
saying by
seat.
fat is like people who like are like
overweight. You can tell.
Yeah, and like it's fine if you're like overweight. Like if you're like a football player and like you're overweight.
A linebacker.
Yeah, it's like sort of like it helps you. Like you need to be overweight.
I think
But, like,
You're a sumo wrestler.
when you're like
It's when you're-
morbidly obese.
It's more. It's not even
Or
so like
obese.
I don't care that you look fat. I do not care. I care about your mindset, like how you're acting with your mind. You're lazy. You're not like. Like if you're fat,
you're
like
not
I
trying.
do not care that you have rolls. Like, okay, maybe it's like if you're like it's like unattractive or something. But like I'm not gonna be like, oh, that person's fat. I don't like them. It's this person's fat. I don't like the way they think, the way they tell me how I should be, the way they say like, oh well, why are you talking about sports so much? I'm fat. Or like, why are you talking about exercising? I'm fat. That offends me. What the fuck is that shit, bro?
I was trying not to laugh.
Or like, dude, nowadays people will literally make fun of you for being healthy. People will be like,
Yeah.
Nick, why are you lifting such heavy weights?
Well, because
What are you talking about? What do you mean? Why am I lifting such heavy weights? I should be asking you why you're a fucking pussy. God damn, I hate that one. Or like,
Yeah.
Nick, why are you going so hard?
yeah,
It's like,
'cause-
dude, I'm like
I
literally
don't
trying
know.
to better myself. And I'm not even talking about like the kid
Or, like-
who's in gym class who's like doing like the touch your toes and he's like fucking like touching his toes and his back's like all the way around. He's like able to like fucking put his forearms down to the floor. I'm not talking about that kid.
The
I'm talking about the
person
kid who's like and they're like sport
goes-
practice or like they're doing something like I have a weights class at school and like that's my time to lift weights during the day. I'm not gonna have any other time of the day unless I want to stay up till 11 p.m. doing all the other shit that I do too to lift weights. I'm trying to sleep by a reasonable time, so I have to take advantage of that time at school. So you bet I'm gonna go as hard as I fucking can to get the results that I need to get.
Yeah, that's the thing I've been
What's going on over
struggling
there?
with is time management.
Dude, same.
Well, it's just because,
Same,
like,
bro.
okay, so I'm in, like, the hardest program at my university right now. Just in...
Let them know what university so they can like they
Ball
can visit.
State.
No, stop! What the fuck? There's a joke. There's a joke.
But, okay, well, anyways,
You
so
have to
I'm
be
at, like, the
proud.
hardest program there, and it's very notorious for people pulling all-nighters, which means literally...
Wait, how'd you hear about that?
What do you mean?
Did you hear it from other people about them pulling all-nighters? Have you pulled an all-nighter?
Well, no, I mean, I've seen people around me all pull all-nighters.
Have you pulled an all-nighter?
Surprisingly not, because I'm better than a lot of people. It's
good.
But I still wouldn't say I'm perfect.
Sleep is
because
important.
I still go to bed at like sometimes
Later.
1 a.m. a lot.
Yeah, I
which
can't
is,
do
which
that
is
shit.
which isn't good. I'm gonna be honest.
Like, what
Yeah.
time do you
But-
wake up?
What time I wake up? Probably like 7 or 8.
Yeah, so you get like a 6-7 hours of sleep. That's not good.
Which isn't necessarily good.
Yeah, us kids
But-
need 8, but our school
You
schedule
need to
is
follow a
But-
steady sleep schedule.
But anyways, it's just like this program's known for like, so it's really long hours that you're in class, this program, because what they do is for credit hours, typically it's the way it's done is a 1 hour, if you have a 1 hour class 3 times a week, you get 3 credit hours. But for mine, I have like a 4 hour class 3 times a week, so I should get 12, but I get 2. So that means they can fill up my schedule a lot.
Yeah, I know
So
what
even
you're saying.
after these hours, I'll spend like 7 hours at the building working on
Working.
my projects and stuff. So I'll get home like really late, like 11 o'clock, and I haven't been back to my room since like 8 a.m.
Okay, have you guys noticed this about like I don't know about I haven't been to college, so I don't know, but high school, have you noticed like a lot of like the shit that we do is like wasted time?
No,
Yeah.
it definitely is. As someone
Because-
Like you could shorten the school
Yeah.
day at least by like 2 hours.
The thing I hate the most about school, and I've said it, I've said it around you, I think, once before, but like how like we have to have 40 credits to graduate, right? But the way they make it for us is like we have to follow a specific amount of certain classes. Like I have to have a certain amount of English credits.
Yeah.
But like some people, they don't need that. They don't need like 4 years of a language.
They don't.
And they don't, like, they're going into...
Some kids who speak Spanish have to take 4 years of Spanish. They speak Spanish, bro.
And it's, they just,
Yeah.
they get, it's so ridiculous. Like, I
No,
want,
and
if I want
also,
to follow a
like-
specific career plan, then let me take
No,
the classes
what
that
pisses
I
me
need
off
to.
is like I have this one teacher who's probably stood up in front of the class. Dude, I'm gonna go on a fucking rant. He's probably stood up in front of the class and lectured us or like had us like interact with each other 7 times out of the entire semester since January whatever when we went back to school.
Your history teacher?
Yes. He's taught a total of 7 times.
I had that same teacher.
Yes,
that same class.
assignments every day, and it's like even like I was talking to my friend about Tuskegee Airmen because we were learning about World War II, and I was talking about these World War II because like I love talking about history, and he got mad at me for talking about history, and I literally said to him, I was like, I am talking about history, why? And everyone like dogs on him, and I honestly think he deserves it 100%, because I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Terrible fucking teacher. Literally, we're watching a movie in class. We watch movies and videos all the time. It's like, dude, tell me when we're watching a video so I can get called out of school, because I can literally go home, lay in bed, and watch that same video from my home.
Right.
It's like, why am I here? Why am I here? And then I have to cut. I
that.
literally cannot see any of my friends during the week because I go straight from school to practice, like immediately after school. And it's like an intense 3-hour grind. And then I go home and I have like 30 minutes to an hour to like eat, brush my teeth, and then go to bed.
That's the nice thing about college is if you just feel a class is completely useless for you being there, you can only show up when you need to be there. You feel me? So like if I know I'm gonna see the class is gonna be showing a movie, and that's all we're gonna do, then I could just not show up to that class and get other work done. Yeah, I can get ahead.
I appreciate when teachers give us like fun activities to do in like groups, or like it's okay to have like a couple days like a month where you just have to throw up a video or something, you know what I mean? Like where you because I understand teachers are people too, but I'm not even exaggerating when I'm saying 7 times in about how many days do we have left of school? 50.
We have around 70 to 80.
So that means 50 days of school, 40 days have passed. 40 days, 7 of them he's taught. 7 days he's taught. Other days, here, go online and look at this shit. What the fuck? I don't need to be at school. I literally don't need to be at school. I can be at home. It's just aggravating because it's a waste of my time, dude.
I also hate like some of the teachers. Like, I don't need to know about the history of transgenders. I don't need to know.
What class is that?
English. It's probably English
social
class.
studies.
What?
Okay, well,
Yes.
Well, the thing about English and sometimes social studies,
I hate English. I'm about to go on a rant about English. Go ahead.
the teachers can literally make it whatever the fuck they want because we obviously already know English.
Like, I know English. I can speak English, okay? Here's the thing about English, bro. One time I had a test where I got it wrong, and I was like, this is right. And the teacher's like, yeah, well, it is right, but it's not as right as this one. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is a test. This is a test. The point of a test.
There could be multiple answers.
It's to circle the right answer. The right answer. And the other ones are wrong. Not like, this question's kind of right. The other one's half-assed. The other one's also right, but it's also wrong.
Why list the other ones?
It's like, why? Exactly. And they make it whatever they want. A lot of times it's like political bullshit bias. It's like, dude, school is broken, especially high school. I don't know about, I have not been to college, so I'm not going to speak like I know about college. High school, it's a game, bro. You can literally play the game of high school. Like, you can cheat. I'm not going to lie. I've cheated my entire way through this year, and I have 2 C's, which honestly is better than I normally have been. I've never been a fan of school. I really honestly don't think it measures intelligence correctly, because a lot of it, like I said, is just turning in assignments and like studying for a test that you're going to forget everything for. Like, honestly, guys, what's a test that you've done really good on that you can remember everything, all the knowledge to, like, perfectly?
Like,
so,
hardly anything.
Just to give an example, so, I'm in
sorry for the rant.
The hardest program at my campus. Anyways, my one friend, he comes from elsewhere. He came from a different high school, but when he graduated, he graduated top the.
Was it a shitty school?
Top 8th of his, no, it was a good school. It wasn't an okay school, but the top 8th of his class. So he was had the top 8th grades in his class, and me, I graduated probably about the the under 50th percentile. So not great. When I went to my counselor, she told me not to include my class rank when I'm sending it to colleges because it wasn't great. But anyways, me and him are struggling the same amount because because college is just different.
High school is a game. It honestly, really, high school is a game.
And so is college in some ways, because
I haven't been to college, so I'm not gonna say
my mom. I want to tell the story about. My mom told me about it. She had this friend who had a son who graduated college, but he had to retake this whole English class. Because he wrote, like, this is about controversy, right? The teacher was taking a political side.
Yeah.
And he wrote on the paper, liberal. Something liberal.
Like supporting liberal?
No, going against liberal.
Okay.
And he wrote this whole entire paper, right? And he hands it in. It's the final for the whole entire class, and he completely fails it.
That's so wrong.
Retakes the class, right? Turns in the same exact paper, changes the word from liberal to conservative, passes the class.
Oh my god.
The same
Dude,
words.
No, it's terrible how, like, and I'm not even gonna, like, I'm not, like, honestly, like, I'm like pretty, like, center on the political spectrum, in case anyone is, like, wondering, but I think that shit's wrong, no matter what. If you're a teacher,
no matter what side that's
no matter what side, if you're picking your opinions over the kid's effort in the quality of the assignment, that's fucked up. That's not even right. Like, that's, like, literally, like, you should be able to have your teaching license revoked for that shit. Some of these teachers, I don't know how they got a teaching license, bro. I could be a teacher. I could teach my history class.
You wanna know
I seriously could. I could go up there and talk about the Vietnam War, and I could have us do fun shit. I could be a great history teacher.
You want to know a song I know?
Sorry, something happened with the recording. Just someone called me on I'm recording this from my phone, and someone called, so I apologize for that. But what were you gonna say, Ben?
Okay, so song I know about your history teacher, because I also had him, is that he previously taught at a private school, like a private Catholic school for a while. And if I'm correct, I don't think you need, like, formal teaching education to teach at, like, a school like that, like a private school.
Oh yeah, because they're not funded by the government.
I'm pretty sure you do need it if you're a public school teacher, but I bet he could get the job because he has had teaching experience.
Bro, that's fucked.
That's just something I wanted.
What did you think of him as a teacher when you had him? Shit.
It was boring as shit. I've talked to someone about this, but I have this theory about what makes a horny classroom. And if that was the class that it was, it just has to be a really fucking boring class where you just do nothing. And everyone just, like, starts looking at each other like, who's the hot people in this room?
Yeah, it's horny.
Like, I have a class like that where we just do nothing and sit to this, like, crazy man talk for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, how do some of these teachers do podcasts to their students?
Out of 18 people, like, 5 different girls from this class, I'm gonna be honest, they're all ugly, but, like, 5 different girls from this class have, like, hit me up. And it's just like, what the fuck? This class is so horny, you feel?
That's, like, honestly, just...
I've had some weird situations like that. Like, I had this really boring class, like it wasn't the teacher who was boring, it was just the material, like, nobody was interested in it. Yeah. And, your boy, who's gay, started coming after me.
I don't have a boy who's gay.
No.
Oh, Pete, your boy is gay. Not my boy who's gay. Yeah. Your boy who's gay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
And I personally, you already know me. I'm into the spectrum of maybe fat, maybe skinny.
Just you like some
girls.
Push cushion for the push.
Yeah, but like but I don't really like guys.
You said that like I don't really like guys. Okay. Like I fuck some of them.
They're cool as friends.
Fuck some of them.
I'm cool with being friends, but like I don't fuck with that. I'm not gay. Like, and I also have a religious stance on that. But like, but yeah, it's awkward.
So he tried to come after you, like.
Not exactly, but like when you get hugged.
When you get hugged a lot by someone,
it gives you that special feeling that like makes you extremely uncomfortable. Like,
especially
maybe
when
this is actual.
That. Yeah, like I like hugs if it's like, hey, what's up, cuz? Like, give me a hug. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit. But when it's like, give me a hug, and it's like really like fucking like weird and shit. And it's like I barely talk to you. Or like people who always ask for a hug. Yeah, like people who like stop. But like people who like always hug when like they like first see you, like when you see someone like twice, 3 times a day in school, and like they see you in the halls. dude, hug. It's like, that's okay, that's a little bit fucking weird. But if it's like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while, man, give me a hug, like, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, you know when it's weird. You can't even explain, there's no rule to it. It's just, you know when it's weird and you know when it's not. That's the best way I could say it. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to wrap it up on. Anyway, if you guys like the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video. I post other shit on the channel too.
Yes, sir.
I had a really good time doing this. Hopefully we can get more people on here. Sorry about that little like shit that happened in back fucking there. But anyway, like I said, like, subscribe. We're gonna have more of this shit coming. See y'all later. Have a good one.